Hello guys. So today we are going to learn about how we can handle the permissions in a composed multi-platform project. So in this project, we are going to see how we can handle the location permissions, and it will be a demo. So let's get started. So first of all, what we need to do is let's create a project from JetBrains, kmpjetbrains.com. Here you can create Kotlin multi-platform dummy project or a basic template. So I have created this template with the name of Kotlin project and given the package name, and you have to select Android, iOS and click on download, and I have extracted it, and this is how it looks. It will create this uh, common main, Android main, iOS main and all the complete structure. So we have to do our work in Compose app, and for like in common main we have to perform our we have to define our code, compose code, and also we have to do the things in the project we want to create. So in compose multi-platform, where we have to handle the permissions, for sometime we need location permission, we need sensor permission, Bluetooth permission. So those work differently in Android and iOS, but when you are trying to do it in a common project, so there can come some difficulties to overcome those. I have tried it. I will share it with you guys. So first of all, we need to add some dependencies. So for this, we are going to use Coin for dependency injection, and we are going to use this Voyager library to create the view models. And you can use the latest view model update from our JetBrains, our libraries, but I used Voyager, and also I have used Coin. So this is how you can define this in Gradle, in libs version.tom. In this file you can define your dependency. Also, as we are trying to handle the location permission, so you need to define Google Play Service Android location as well. And in iOS you don't need any additional dependency, so it will work for us. And also with this latest template you get Kotlin 2.0.0, and we also going to need coroutines and Coin compose multi-platform dependency. These are some dependencies which we need to add. So these are the default ones which come alongside the project. You can delete them. These are test and other. So here what I have added, this voice navigator, screen model, transition, and these, so some of them. And here we have to add Google Play Service one, and we can use them. Same Kotlin multi-platform or Kotlin X serialization, I have used some of them extra. You can delete it if you want. And then in our Compose app we have our another Gradle. Here we need to define our dependencies of Android and iOS, which we are going to use. So here as well in plugins, we have Kotlin X serialization plugin, which I have used, and also there is no additional one. And here in Android main you have to use Coin and Google Play Service Android location. If you want to use some other, then you, like, if you are trying to do it for some other, you have to use the other ones. In common main also, I am using material 3 by default. It comes with material, so update it to material 3. Then we use Coin and Voyager library just to add some other data, like the screen model, transitions and navigations. And also these are extra. If you want to use, you can use, or if you don't want to use, you can delete them. Also this Kotlin coroutines you need to add. And sometime this compose multi-platform project doesn't work, it will give you some error. So for this you might need to add this task test classes, and rest everything is same. And so now let's get started and see how it goes. So we have to open our in Compose app, we have to open our Kotlin common main. Here we need to define. So first of all, this is the default structure which comes. What we can do, let's delete it, and we don't want to have anything right now. so I have deleted it. And also this is the interface which comes along. So okay, so let's start with how we want to handle the permissions, location permission. And for handling it simultaneously alongside in iOS main and Android main. So for example, if you are running it in application in iOS, so it will handle the permission, location permission for iOS differently, and for Android it handles it differently. Like for Android we show runtime permissions same as we show in iOS, but those are differently. So for this, let's create a in common main. Let's create a new directory that is called as util. I will call it as util, and inside it let's create our class which we can name as location provider. So in location provider class, let's create a new class. Let's name it as Kotlin Pyro class. It's a location provider class. Let's create it a location provider class. So this class in Kotlin multiplatform or in Compose multiplatform, we can create an expect class. It will behave as same as interface, but it will have the implementation in Android main and in iOS main. So for this, was one function we are going to need is request permissions, request location updates, or request location permission. I am using this Android Studio. It is showing me this suggestion. So let's have request permissions and request. Yeah, it is sometime it is annoying, and let's create it as a boolean. It will check if we have permission, then it will request the permission. Then we gonna need get last non-location as well. Location. Okay, to get this location, let's create a data class which will data class location, which is going to have latitude and longitude. So this will be our class. Okay, so now when we create an expect class, we need to implement it in both in Android main and iOS main. So we can use add missing actual declaration. We need it in Android main, and also we need it in iOS main. Click OK, and what it will do, if you see at Android main Kotlin, it will create the same package, same directory as util location provider here, and in iOS main as well. If you see util location provider, it will create the same implementation. One thing to keep in mind is every time when you create an expect class, you have to keep the structure as it is. Like if you're creating this as a Kotlin util and then you are defining the class, you have to do the same in iOS main. For their actual implementation, you have to create this util name and also this classes inside this package. So this need to be, you need to consider. Okay, so we have created it, and now what are the things we need in Android to check the permissions? We need to use this what we call it fuse location API, and on iOS we need to define this CL location manager, and I use it. So in our, let's start with our location provider in actual class in Android. So one other thing is our location provider in Android, we use context, but iOS doesn't need external context to access their dependencies. So sometime also when you want to define classes or something which has different implementation in Android, but it's other implementation in iOS, you can create this expect class and have their implementations and handle accordingly in corresponding platforms. So here I'm gonna need a context. So let me create this context for Android. This is in Android. So but later we will provide it using our dependency injection, that is our from our with using our coin. So also I'm going to need our what it is, location manager. So let me create private well it will be a location manager uh, location manager, and I'm going to use it from our location service location services dot get fuse location provider client, I guess, use, and it will need context, right? So let's not get it directly. Let it will be later, it will be provided. So let's use by lazy. We will initialize it later and put it inside it. So this is our client from where we are going to use get the location manager, right? So now to request the location, first we need to check that if we have the our what we call, if we have the particular access fine location or our access correct locations or not. So first of all, let's define those in our manifest. Here it is, our manifest, and well, let me paste those. Now go to location provider again, and here what we do, we have to check for if we have the permissions. So let me check, let me paste it here. I'm using this is the boilerplate code, so we don't need to like write it all again. So hey, this will check if we have access fine location. It will check if we have cause location, then we have location manager, and if we check this GPS is enabled or not. Okay, so and also it will return us if we have all the permissions or not. So let me return it, right? So this is in this request location permission is going to check, or you can rename it to if we have the permission or not. Then we need to get the last known location. So for this we need to provide our suspend function. We are going to use some coroutines also, and we are going to use our fuse location manager. And to do this, let's just use our location manager. This is how it will look like. Okay, this is giving me as a permission check. We have given it, but sometime it gives us this warning. So we have use suspend callable routine. So what it will do, it will provide us this if we get the location, it will provide us the latitude, longitude, and we use this our location manager to get the last known location. If that is complete or if this is successful, it will give us, otherwise it won't. So this is the implementation in Android. This is how you can implement it. And also so now let's do the same for iOS main. It also has this two functions that request location permission and get last known location. So also here what you can do is you can just use their own location manager and the status. So this is how it will look like. Okay, this is inside iOS you can just simply use this location manager, that is CL location manager, and on status it will check if it has a permission or not. And also same, it will check in like in Android, it will check the status not determined, or then like we want the application all the permission all the time or not, and same it will update, but it doesn't require any external context. And if you want the like the code, I will post the repo link where from where you can find it. And it's a boilerplate code, so you can find it online or anywhere from the our using ChatGPT as well. You can find this code. So now to get the last known location, what you need to do is you need to use coroutine. So previously I made a mistake, like I didn't use this with context for getting this permission, and I was just trying to get it inside what we call normal view model scope, but that doesn't work. So okay, this is our code. This log message, it will work because I have created a separate file, but let's remove it for now. It doesn't, we don't need it. Log message, you can use print, but when we want to print it for let's add experimental, because I guess this is still in beta. So this is how you can define this locations class, location provider class on both side. First it will check the log, if we have the permission, then it will get at the last known location for us. Okay, that's all done. So now let's create our dependency injection. We need to provide this context as well to this location provider. So for this, first of all, create a so let's create a, to provide the context, let's create a app. So basically in the app, in Android main, to create an application class, what we do is we usually do it in our this package. So let's just create a new Kotlin class or file, name it as main application, or you can say our permission app, and create this class. Inside this app class, let's extend it using application application. And what other issue it needs, why it's not working? Weather app permission, we are creating it inside this application main activity.kt, and there is no such issue. And I guess it needs create class. It's not importing. Let me maybe something is wrong. Yeah, here it is. I don't know what was the issue. Maybe some typo, or it was stuck. Okay. So in on create function, let's create. Now what we need to do is inside we need to create an Kotlin initializer as well. Coin initializer as well. So what it will do, it will start the dependency injection for Android and iOS separately. If you are not creating like a big project, if you are doing for a small one, you can just simply create it as a create a simple class, and in it use this function commonly on both of the platforms. But as we need some different things. For example, we need to pass context for Android and not for iOS, so it might need a different implementation. And also it will be good practice to have it separately. and good definitions. So let's create kotlin initializer, and I made let me refactor it a little bit. Initializer TIALIZ. Okay, now it's fine. It's also inside it. Let's have a function that is my initialize, and just a function. Let's create it an expect class. Now also it will ask us to define the declaration. We need to do it for Android main and iOS main. Let's do it. And here you will have it inside the util as well. This is the initializer, and inside it what we need to do is we need to provide, we have the function for Android. What we need is we need an context. So what we can do is private, we need an application, but let's use the context because we need to initialize, we need to use context for starting this permission handler dialogues to show this to access the runtime permission. And inside it, let's have a start coin. So if you are not familiar with coin, it's very easy. Just go and read their documentation. It will help you to understand it. So it's a good, very nice dependency injection, easy to use. And let's use Android context. And inside it, let's pass this application context. So what it will do, it will provide us this context, wherever we need. For example, we need it in location provider. Okay, and now in our app, what we need to do is we need to initialize our coin dependency injection. What we'll do, coin initializer dot what we need to pass is application context, right? And we need to initialize it, right? And don't forget to give the name here, name permission app, right? That's done, and we have created this. Okay, so after this, let's move to iOS. In iOS, we also have this initializer. We have initialize function in iOS main as well. So in this, what same start the coin, right? And let's create, what we need is we need to use this location provider module as well in our home in compose. When we are going to create a view model in common main, then we are going to need this location module as well. So let's create this location module as well. It will just going to help us to provide this inside our home, our view model. So okay, so let's create a class here. Let's create a file here. Kotlin class or file. Let's give it a name as location module. Okay, inside it, create a location module, and it will be module from coin, right? If it is a module from coin, let's it's a singleton. What we are going to use, location provider, the class which we have created. Okay, and here what we have done is coin initializer in this modules. Yeah, we have the location module. This is how it will look like. And we just provided the location module. Okay, so now let's come to our common main. So inside it, what we have is we have now in app we want to show something. So let's create a new directory, presentation. Right, inside it, let's have a new class. Let's name it as home screen. Okay, and if you are using Voyager, you can just simply extend it with screen, including member, and you will get this content and annotate it with composable. And yeah, here you can have your content. So for example, let's have a column. We have a modifier. And let's have horizontal alignment dot center horizontally. I need to import it. And same, let's have a vertical alignment dot center, just import it as well. Now let's have inside it, let's have a button maybe. Then material 3. We are having why it's need. Okay. Okay, in button, let's text select way something. Okay, we will define the to do later. Okay, so same, let's create a new what we call it class, that is, and let's create it with screen model. So you can use screen model, works same as our view model in Android. And if you want, you can use the latest libraries which still in beta, that for view model, and also for navigation that will works the same. And inside it, what you need to use is navigator, navigator maybe, that is for navigator, that will come from, yeah, that will come from this library, Voyager home screen. It will directly navigate us to this home screen. Okay, that is done. We created a home view model, and also let's create a class that is app module in our Kotlin directory. We can create, name it as di. Let's create a file inside it, class of file, that is app module, right? And inside app module, let's define our module which will provide us this view model. Okay, so let's app module. It will also be a module that will come from coin. Okay, and we need to provide this in the view models. We need to provide using the factory. So here you don't need to do anything separately. You just simply can use a factory inside it and home view model, and we are not passing anything right now, so just like this. And later we are going to use in home view model, we are going to use uh, location provider, right? Location provider is this from utils. So inside your app module, what we can do is location provide location manager. I guess we named it wrong, and we can simply use get, because we already passing it from our Android main and iOS main permission app. And here we have coin initializer. Yeah, we are passing this start. And let's just now in our coin initializer, also in both of the side, let's pass this module. In Android, did we create the location module? I guess we haven't created it, so let's just pass it. But we pass app module. Yeah, app module. Okay. Okay, so now we also need to provide the location module inside our Android main. Here what we have defined is Kotlin compose app. In Android main we have provided the app module. Now let's create a location module here as well. Create a new Kotlin class or file. Let's name it as a location module. Right. So here let's define this location module. What it will do, it will provide the context to our location module. So location module, this is for Android, that is also the module, and inside it let's give this single and location provider, and it needs context. So let's just give the context, because we already provided our context in Kotlin slicer Android context application. And let's give this location module as well. So yeah, our initial part is ready. So what we have done is we have created this location module, and we have created this location provider class. We have coin initializer, where we are passing the app module. The app module we have created in common main, and same we did for iOS. We have this modules. Let's also pass the app module here. App module. Okay, so we have the app module dependency in both platform. We have location provider, and in app module we have the home view model factory, and in home screen we have this, and in home view model we can use it like this, location provider. So let's now come to Android. Here we have our main activity. So as you know, in Android, to get the permission, we can simply use our permission launcher to get the permission after activity result. So let me use this. So we use activity result launcher. It will give us the permission launcher to listen to whatever comes in activity result, and then we need to ask the permission. We have the set content function here. Before that, let's try to request the permission. So for this, we need to use life cycle, and this is the code. Like we need to use lifecycle scope dot launch. It will launch a coroutine, and we would need location provider dot request location permission. If we didn't have the permission, we need to launch the this permission launcher for access find, access course location, and we will get the permission. And inside it, we need to define also our this permission launcher handler, which will listen to our what we say it, like to listen to our permission result, right? So here, let's define it. First of all, if you want, you can access the view model as well. So let me define it here. Permission launcher will be equals to register activity result, register for activity result, right? And inside it, we need to pass activity result contract to request multiple permission. It shows the directly shows us the suggestion, and inside it, once we get the permission, we can perform any operation which we want. Okay, so this is how it looks like for iOS, sorry, for Android. And now let's move to our, what we call it, our home screen. We have a button. We need to define in home view model. We need to define how we want to this check the permissions with using this location manager. This is actually location provider. We can rename it later if you want. And inside it, what we can do is we can create a function that will check the permission on both platform. Okay, check permission, and inside this, what we need is as we use view model scope, you can use the screen model scope. It will it is the same if you are using this version library. We need to define the permission equals to location manager dot what we have defined request location permission. I always made mistake. Okay, and what we if we have the permission, then we can, if we have the permission, what we can do is print permission granted, right? This is for check permission. Now let's call this function in init check permission. It will check the permission for both the platforms. Now if you want, you can define this function in both the platform, like you can individually call it, or I'm just testing it for now how we can call it. And even if we get the permission, let me if you want to inject this view model inside your activity as well, you can simply use like this. Use coin, we can use view model. This is what we named it as home view model by view models, not by view models actually. If you are using coin, we need to define it using inject by inject. Coin inject or inject, it will work. And inside it, if you want to check again, you can simply model dot check. I guess we made that function private. Yeah, that's why. And main activity You can simply call check permission. It will check the permission for us again, right? And that is done. And after the button, also in our where it is a main screen, we can simply try to call the check permission. If we want, like, we can, if we don't want to request the permission directly, and let me try it one using this. Not call it in init. What we will do, we will call it inside our home screen. We will call it using button click. So in this we have the column. Let's use view model. The model that it will be equal to get screen model, and what was our name, home view model, and let's just define it like this. Okay, so we, and on click, just what we need to do, view model dot check permissions, right? So let's run this application. I would like to run it first. Okay, one thing is missing in iOS app. If we open the iOS app, and inside iOS app we have this info.plist. Inside it, just like we define everything, why we need this permission for Android, same you have to do this inside this info.plist, and you have to define what you are using this NS location manager, and we need this services. And so like we do it for Android manifest, you need to say this NS location when in usage direction, we need location to provide better service, and why we are using this. So now everything is done, and iOS, we define this both. Let me try to run it for iOS first. Okay, it is gonna run. I have the emulator running, I guess. Yeah, let's wait for some time. It will run. So till then, let me show you what we have done so far. We have created a module, app module. We have created a home screen. We have created a home screen view model, where we are justifying using this location manager for both the classes. We have provided location provider for both the applications. So now it will open. Yeah, we should be having a button here. It takes some time usually. Yes, it didn't start, or oh, it is crashing. Maybe there is some issue. There is some issue with Xcode. Illegal coin application has not been started. Okay, coin application has not been started. Okay, there is, let me check. Okay. So what we have done is, we haven't configured the coin for iOS. Maybe inside the main view controller, let me open it. So we what we have done is, we have done all the things required for Kotlin, coin, but we haven't configured it. To configure it, what you need to do is, you just need to open this main view controller, and inside this you need to write configure. Yeah, here it is, configure. It will be equals to a function, and inside this function, what we, just like we in our for coin initializer, just like we did in our app class in this Android app, we need to use this initialize. Right, now let me run it again. So it should show the permission now. Okay, so this is required. Just like in Android, we give the app as initialize this, like here we need to do the same in main view controller. Okay, so let's wait. Now it should show the permission. Yeah, it has built the application. Let it launch. Okay, click me. Yes, so it asks you to allow the permission. We can use allow while using the application. Now we have the permission, so it won't show us. So this is for iOS. Let me run it for Android. Maybe I don't have emulator running right now. Maybe just a moment. Let me add it and it will run. Okay, let for iOS Compose app use Pixel 6, Pixel 8, and let's run it. It's gonna take some time, but it will run the same for Android as it run for iOS. It will ask the permission. So just to clarify, by the time it runs, I will go you through for one more time. Every time when you need to define the location, the permissions, not location permission, all the any kind of permission, what you can do is you can simply just create this different implementation, create this classes like the provider classes, how you want to define them, implement in separately, and then use it using dependency injection or anything you want, and handle it separately in both the platforms. It will make your life easy, and it will give you a clean code. I will upload this repo, and you can use this. Also, I have created a similar application on the weather app application, where I'm using this location provider to get the last known location, and to check, you can check it and how it is I've been using it. So now let's wait. It is running. Gradle build is running. Emulators are slow, I know. It will run, and it will show you the permission code. Emulator has run. Yeah, and we have defined the permission in manifest. Yes, we have the permission app. Yes, and in activity here we just before this we can launch, or we can launch it on click. This takes a long time. Module location provider. Okay, I will gonna skip this part, and by the time we are waiting, I will show it later. Yeah, launching on device. If we, yeah, so this is how it will look like on Android while using the application. Only this time we can say, and if the we can. Okay, so click me on in logcat. You can see if the permission is granted. What we can do is, if the we can in home view model, if you want, you can check if the permission is granted. Permission, what we can do, permission dot we can use location manager dot get last known location dot. Okay, so once we have the permission, we check that that we can show the dialog. Also, what you can do is that if we have the permission, what we can do, get last known location dot latitude, and sorry, we need to print it. They use it like this. and latitude, and also just we can use thread. Okay, that was it for today, guys. So in this video we learned how we can use how we can get the permission dialogues for Android and iOS, and how we can implement separately using compose multi-platform. So in next video we are going to learn something more. For till then, thank you guys, take care, bye.